ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages. It's that time again. No, we're not going off to some mythical Wally world or anything like that. No, it's time for nerd sports. It
What?
just happens to be. I know. I mean, Clark Griswold's going to be incredibly disappointed. But that station wagon of his was fire, though. I'm just kind of putting that out there.
Yeah, it was.
Anyways, did you see Justin Danger Nunley? He's got one. And it's like, dude,
His new he added a new something new to his collection. You know what it was?
I saw briefly the video before I dozed off to sleep. What was it?
It was the AT van.
Oh, that's right, the A-Team van. That's right. And yeah, and you open it up, it's all carpeted out, and there's weapons racks on the wall. Yeah. Yeah, that one that was pretty cool.
He is getting 80s and nostalgia.
I'm telling you, man, that dude right there, he's
living the dream.
He's living the dream. It's pretty awesome. Good on him. Anyway, so it's episode 262.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Let me see here. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I should be here for next week's episode too. So yeah, I know it's weird.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mind-boggling weird, but hey, it's all good.
You almost had my schedule for a minute there because I was doing only like once a week, only because I was working nights at the time and I couldn't get everything.
Well, starting tomorrow, I start a set of nights.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm off for the 4 days, right? And then the next set I start's my days. When I come off of those, I'll be on call for nights. Yeah. So this is the last week of school for a lot of kids. So, hey, parents, I've got a great suggestion for Monday nights. Put your kids in front of an iPad or whatever. Have them tune in. Just kind of putting that out there.
Yeah, we need the views.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they don't hear the language at home. It's not like definitely like they don't use it at school. So, I mean, you really got nothing to lose here. Just kind of saying. But
and we're anti-propaganda, so
exactly. I mean, the nerd portion of the show will definitely cater to them. And, we more than welcome them into the comment section to voice their opinion about one console versus the other. Or if they're PC master racers because they had inherited it from their overbearing, usually alcoholic dad. Just kind of saying.
And we're not like a Disney cruise.
No, and we are not like a Disney cruise. And we're definitely not a small cruise type operation where the swinger parties get out of hand and hantavirus makes its way to the shore.
Did you hear what happened?
Well, I heard that the two of the people that made their way off the ship live in Texas, in the Houston area, and they're being quarantined. But I'm like,
oh no! On the Disney cruise.
Oh yeah, that child trafficking.
Yeah.
But with that hantavirus, they're like, oh well, it can't be passed with human to person-to-person contact. Well, yeah, it can. And guess what? It's on a cruise ship. And what happens on cruise ships, David? Swinger parties.
No,
upside down pineapple rooms. I'm telling you.
No,
especially on the smaller ships.
That never happens to me.
I mean, unofficially,
I never get
it. Doesn't happen to you. How about that? I mean,
you would probably be a prime suspect, and I would never. Your wife should never let you go anywhere alone like that.
Well, see, that's where I come up as the responsible human being, and I don't go anywhere out in public unless I have my wife or one of my kids with me. So,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of putting that out there. Anyways, so we're going to start the show off like we usually do. I'm going to turn things over to David, our esteemed producer, albeit very briefly, for this week's edition of Weird Sports. So, David, please, by all means.
I think we covered this, but I'm not sure. But we'll take the volume off because of rights.
Copyrights, yeah.
Yeah. Even though some places. This is an interesting sport. It's I don't know how to describe it other than violence. Pure violence. It is football-esque, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get to the actual game. It's a contact sport, and they're fighting over a ball, and I'm talking drag out fights. There we go. I guess it's kind of like a basketball, but you have to hit the wall. But I've seen some of them to where they're just beating the crap out of each other. The TikTok video is 100 times better because you just saw fist fights. But yeah. Oh, there we go. There's the fist fight
Yep,
right there.
yep.
There you
So it's like rugby meets MMA.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. And it is just
Hmm.
yeah. What the I was like, "Wait a minute, can we show this?" Oh, they're doing uh uh jiu-jitsu there, wrestling or something. Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, them Europeans though, they definitely get bored and they come up with some cool stuff.
I mean, I still remember the what the Danish baseball.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
That was I found that. I was like, I wonder what
that you need a master's degree in trigonometry and geometry there.
Yes. I'll show it next week just for the people that haven't seen it in a row.
Yeah,
You know
the
what's
one,
really
the ones that are like, huh? What?
you know what's really bad? Me and Bill last week, and this is just on top of our shows for like Friday.
Mhm.
Uh we Bill was talking about we have excess energy up here in our area because of the wind currents. And he was like, "Yeah, we don't use a gig of electricity." I was like, "Bill, why hasn't anybody used it for time travel?" You know, you need a 1.21 gigawatts power
Yeah.
of the capacitor.
Mhm.
And I posted that the clip, and the clip had it to where Bill found the flux capacitor on O'Reilly's uh
Yeah.
website because
Mhm.
nerds know it's there.
Yeah.
Well, I posted the clip, and the guy was like, "I used to work for O'Reilly," and it was just a gag. I was like, "Okay, well, we were just making a joke. Thank you for your input." And I looked up today; it came up on my feed, the clip, which it got 486 views. I'm happy about that. We usually don't do that much, but I looked at the title of it. It said 1.21 gigawatt joke. It literally said joke in the title.
Yeah.
I don't think people I think the people that watch videos are just people that don't know how to read.
You know, you're
Or
not wrong. No,
they look
you're not wrong at all. 100% correct. Because if you look at a lot of the videos that get stitched, it's people making fun of the people that watch videos and then make reactions to those said videos without actually watching the videos. So, yeah.
I still don't get that kind of genre
So
right now.
instead of just assuming that, you know, it just instead of just letting the world assume you're an idiot, people open their mouths and prove them
Oh, yeah.
right. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And it just I've done it a couple of times myself because that's one reason why I screens a lot of the stuff. If it comes to like going out of the show, I was like, hey, look at this. Dude, that's not real. Oh.
Yeah,
I will
pre-show, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of times, yeah, I can remember a couple times, like, "Dave, that's not that's AI." Like, you're like, "What?" "Yeah, dude, look, the watermark." And you're like, "God fuck." All right, so we're gonna start baseball news off with, back last week on the 9th, which would have been, um, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Uh,
Yep.
Bobby Cox died, longtime manager of the Atlanta Braves. Um, He broke into American baseball, well, professional baseball, playing third base. Let me get the page to pull up again because reasons. Um, he played for the New York Yankees. He also managed the Atlanta Braves and the Toronto Blue Jays. He was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He recorded 100 win seasons 6 times as a manager. He first managed the Braves from 78 to 81 and then the Blue Jays from 82 to 85. He rejoined the Braves in 86 as the general manager and then moved back to the manager's role during the 1990 season and stayed there till his retirement following the 2010 season. He led the Braves to a World Series championship in 1995. I remember that. It's where they beat the Twins. The Braves retired his number 6 after his retirement. Um, he holds the all-time record for ejections in Major League Baseball with 162. That record was previously held by John McGraw, but he also leads Major League Baseball in playoff appearances as a manager with 16, and he was the first since Casey Stengel to have qualified for the postseason 10 times. 4 managers have since followed him, but he became the first manager to exceed 3 consecutive appearances in the LCS, doing so by qualifying for the National League Championship Series from 91 to 99, excluding 94, which did not have an NLCS because that was the year of the work stoppage. That was also a year that we didn't have a World Series. Now, as a player, Bobby Cox originally signed as with the Los Angeles Dodgers, but was never able to make the big league team. So eventually, he was acquired by the Braves, but never appeared in a game for them either. So instead, they traded him to the New York Yankees for Bob Tillman and Dale Roberts on December 7th, 1967. He played for the Yankees during the 68 and 69 seasons, mostly at third base. Now, they assigned him to AAA for the 1970 season. He also played from 67 to 70 for the Cardenales de Lara and the Leones de Caracas of the Venezuelan Winter League. So he played a lot of off-season ball, which is mind-blowing. He began his managerial career in the Yankees farm system in 71 with the Fort Lauderdale Yankees. Was promoted to the West Haven team, which was their, I think it was their double A at the time back in 72, and to Syracuse, which was their triple A team at the time in 73. In 76, he did lead them to an International League championship. He also managed the Cardinals in the Venezuelan Winter League from 74 to 77. He then spent the 77 series as the first base coach on Billy Martin's staff with the World Series winning New York Yankees. Now, that was the year that Reggie Jackson hit the 3 home runs, became Mr. October, that kind of a thing. Now, he replaced Dave Bristol as manager of the Atlanta Braves prior to the 78 season. Now, he inherited a team that had finished last in the National League West during the 2 previous seasons, and in 77 compiled a worse record than the first-year Seattle Mariners of the American League. Now, building from the ground up, the Braves finished last in both 78 and 79. Now, entering 1980, Cox made one of the unusual moves for which he was known, moving power-hitting first baseman catcher Dale Murphy, who had developed a throwing block as a catcher that hindered his ability to play to center field. Now, Murphy later went on to win 2 National League MVP awards and 5 Gold Gloves and became one of the premier players of the 1980s. Now, in addition to, Dale Murphy winning a lot of awards, Dale Murphy also led a lot of categories in things like illegitimate children and child support bills during that decade. But the Braves also finished fourth with their first record above 500 since 1974. Now, during the 81 season, which was shortened by a strike, the Braves finished in 4th place during the first half and 5th in the second. Now, over the season, the then owner, Ted Turner, who also died just recently, fired him. Now, asked at a press conference who was on his short list for manager, Turner replied, "It would be Bobby Cox if I hadn't just fired him. We need someone like him around here," but the Braves won the National League West Division in 1982 and second in both 83 and 84 under Joe Torre. Yes, the same Joe Torre who led the New York Yankees to a lot of World Series appearances and championships during the 90s. Now, Cox finished his first tenure with the Braves with a record of 266 wins and 323 losses in the regular season. He did have a stint as the manager for the Toronto Blue Jays in 1982 through 85. Now, after the 85 season, the Braves asked for permission to ask him about their general manager position, which Toronto allowed despite nearly signing Cox for the next season. While initially he didn't think he would be going, he ultimately came to accept Atlanta's idea. And on October 22nd of 85, Cox left to return to Atlanta as general manager. He stated that a key reason was to be closer to his family, who had continued to live in suburban Marietta, Georgia. Now, Cox and the incoming manager, Chuck Tanner, both received 5-year contracts from Ted Turner. Cox finished his stint as the Jays manager with a record of 355 and 292 for his regular season record. And he was, of course, replaced in Toronto by Jimmy Williams. Now, after going through 2 managers over the course of less than 5 years with the disastrous results in attendance and performance, Cox fired Russ Nixon, who was the manager at the time, in June of 1990, named himself field manager. Cox had spent the prior 4 seasons accumulating talented players, including Tom Glavine, Steve Avery, John Smoltz, Ron Gant, and David Justice. He was also responsible for drafting Chipper Jones. Now, let it be said that just Tom Glavine, John Smoltz alone, those are 2 Hall of Famers right there. And then he was responsible for drafting Chipper Jones, another Hall of Famer, hands down. Bobby Cox was a baseball genius. Okay. After the 90 season, Cox handed the general manager's post to Kansas City Royals general manager John Schumerholtz. Now, in 91, the Braves, along with the Minnesota Twins, became the first teams to go from last place to first place from one year to the next. 2 teams met in the 91 World Series, which the Twins won in 7 games, and it was the second World Series in which the home team won every game. Now, 92 to 93, Cox's Braves held a 3-1 lead in the National League Championship Series against the Pittsburgh Pirates before losing games 5 and 6. However, most importantly, they did win Game 7. I remember that series. Sid Bream forced a Game 7 when he came home and was ruled safe at the plate for Pittsburgh, forcing that Game 7. That was a great series. Now, they went on to lose the World Series to the Blue Jays in 93. That was the first of the back-to-back seasons. Yeah. For those of you who do know and do remember, the back-to-back or the second World Series championship was won by Dave Carter on the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th against Mitch Williams, the Wild Thing, pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies. I absolutely hated that World Series. I really did. But, hey, here we are. The Braves had the best record in baseball after a pennant race where they overcame a 10-game deficit in August to beat the San Francisco Giants by going 51-17 over the last 2.5 months of the season. They won the division by a game. However, they lost the NLCS in 6 games to the Philadelphia Phillies, who also ultimately went on to lose in the World Series to the aforementioned Toronto Blue Jays. Now, 95 to 96, the Atlanta Braves won Cox's only World Series championship as a manager over the Cleveland Indians. No, that's right. They did play the Indians. I thought it was the Braves. No, that's right, because the Twins, that was Kirby Puckett's only World Series right there. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, so they won. God, yeah, that's right. I remember that because I was in basic training during that World Series, and I remember, yeah, we were getting score updates. That was fun. Anyways, so they won that World Series over the Cleveland Indians. Yes, the Indians, not the Guardians, because this was back before baseball actually gave a shit about political correctness. Their division title in 95 marked the first time since 89 that neither Pennsylvania team won the National League East. In May of 95, Cox was arrested on simple battery after his wife called police and alleged Cox struck her. She retracted the statement the following day, and the charges were dropped after the couple attended court-ordered counseling. In 96, the Braves again won the division title after sweeping the LA Dodgers in the division series. The Braves fell behind the St. Louis Cardinals 3-1 in the 96 National League Championship Series. Facing elimination, the Braves offense outscored the Cardinals 33-1 over the final 3 games and won the pennant. Cox became the only manager in history to lose a series leading 3-1 and win a series trailing 3-1. Scoring continued into the first 2 games against the New York Yankees as the Braves took a 2-0 lead, winning with scores of 12-1 and 4-0 in the World Series. And in Game 4, the Braves led 6-0 in the 4th inning, but the Yankees came from behind. I remember listening to that World Series while we were in the field. I'm on the old SynGuard radios, listening to the single channel plain text. We would get the CBS broadcasts. Yeah. My platoon leader at the time, a diehard Yankees fan. We also had a platoon sergeant in our for our 3rd platoon, was also a diehard Yankees fan. Still is a diehard Yankees fan. I don't understand it. Anyways, but he went on to retire in 2001. And let me see here. Yeah, in 2001, he tied a record held by John McGraw, Bill Delheen, and Paul Richards by being ejected from 11 games in a single season. Every time it seemed like Bobby Cox went out to argue with the umpire, he would say the magic word and he'd get tossed. And then it would become a spectacle because once you get tossed, you're already going to pay a fine. So you might as well get your money's worth. Yeah. But well, he didn't retire in 2001. I'm sorry. He retired in 2010. But he finished his overall career. Let me see here. 4,505 wins to 2,504 losses. No, I'm sorry. 2,504 wins to 2,001 losses. His career total was a 556 winning percentage. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing stuff. He still had a losing record in the playoffs. I mean, his career was 67 losses or wins to 69 losses, which that's 493 for those of you keeping, track at home. But that's still, I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at, right? He was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma on May 21st, 1941. He grew up in Selma, California near Fresno. He married Mary Xavier from 61 to 77. Together, they had 5 children. Marriage ended in divorce, and then he was married to Pamela Boswell. They had 3 daughters together. And in 95, again, he was arrested on simple assault charges that were then later dropped. After participating in the Braves' home opening day game, April 1st, 2019, Cox was hospitalized after suffering a stroke. 5 months after his stroke, he made a visit to SunTrust Park on September 2nd, 2019, to watch the Braves play the Toronto Blue Jays, a game which the Braves won 6-3. As a result of the stroke, Cox suffered from paralysis in his right arm, which required it to be in a sling. The stroke did not cause cognitive impairment as Cox followed and retained interest in baseball, receiving regular visits with longtime baseball colleagues such as the Braves manager Brian Snitker. There we go. But caused some difficulties communicating. He was diagnosed with congestive heart failure in 2020. He attended the July 6, 2024 Atlanta Braves game versus the visiting division-leading Philadelphia Phillies, his first in-person attendance at a Braves game since 2019. He visited the clubhouse, met with the players, took a group photo. It was shown on the video board before the 4th inning to a standing ovation. He was unable to attend the 2025 All-Star game last year due to poor health. But before the game, tributes were paid to him in the media by his former players. Now, he died in Marietta, Georgia, at home on the 9th of last week at the age of 84. He died 3 days after the death of former Atlanta Braves owner Ted Turner. Cox also died 12 days shy of his 85th birthday. Now, I would like to think that Bobby Cox was just vindictive enough to outlive Ted Turner. out of spite for firing him the first time.
That would be funny if that was actually the case.
You know, I don't put it past Bobby to do that kind of a, to pull that kind of a stunt.
You can
That
pull
would be on brand.
It's one of those things is you can pull the plug now.
Yeah, right. Wait, Ted's dead. Yeah, okay, I'm good. Let's go. So, he was named manager of the year 4 times from 85, 91, 2004, and 2005. He's one of 4 managers to have won the award in both American and National League. He and Kevin Cash are the only managers to have won the award in consecutive years. Cox was also named manager of the year by the Sporting News 8 times in 85, 91, 93, 99, 02, 03, 04, and 05. He passed Sparky Anderson to become the 4th winningest manager in Major League history with a record of 2,195 wins and 1,698 losses. He led the Braves to a division title every season from 91 to 2005, excluding the strike-shortened 94 season. The Braves have competed in the National League East since 1994 and competed in the National League West prior to that. Won a World Series championship in 95, and in 01, he took sole possession of first place for the most wins as a manager in Braves history. So rest in peace, Bobby. Whatever you do, don't get ejected when you get to heaven. Just kind of putting that out there. Unlike Major League Baseball, when God ejects you, that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get your money's worth. Moving on, a little bit of football news. Hold on. The schedule. I think the schedule came out.
Yeah. I know
September 13th, the Cowboys are visiting the Meadowlands to play the Giants on NBC. Of course, that's going to be a Sunday night game. That's going to be streaming on Peacock.
The Ravens are going to host the Bengals on Monday Night Football for the opening 2026 season. That's one. So
let me see.
That's one game I'm not going to be watching.
Right. Let me see here. Some games that are going to be of note. There's going to be 2 games in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and one in Wembley Stadium. So those are going to be the 2 London, UK games. There's going to be a game in Madrid, Spain. There's even going to be a game in Melbourne, Australia.
Really?
It's going to be held at the Melbourne Cricket Ground between the 49ers and the Rams. Mexico City, Mexico is going to host a game. Munich, Germany is going to host a game. Paris, France is even going to get a game. And then, of course, Rio de Janeiro is going to get a game. And that's going to be the Ravens versus the Cowboys.
I feel bad for the players that have to go to France.
Well, I mean, it's better. At least there. I mean, it's like what, a 6-hour, 7-hour flight versus an 18-hour flight to Australia.
I don't care, dude. You know how much your per diem is in France, Paris? I do. $75 a day. Okay.
Well, these are also multimillionaires, not government employees, so they might get a little bit more.
No, that place sucks. No, it's not the per diem, okay? The reason why I know the per diem is because I've been there. I went to Paris, France. That place is a shit show.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It is, dude. The whole.
It's what happens when a certain subsect of humans overrun it. I get that. Well, okay. So back in the 2000s, early 2000s, when you would have gone,
yeah,
it was the French still pissed off about the angry Americans, right? You know, they're all mad because we renamed French fries freedom fries, right? They were still on that kick. Nowadays,
it wasn't that. It's the whole place stinks.
Mm-hmm.
You have people that, I mean, pickpocketing is still prominent there. It's an actual job for some people.
Yeah.
But the whole city of love thing is, anybody believes, we can go to Paris and it'll be no, just go somewhere else.
Just save yourself the time and the
Yeah.
heartache. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I get it. Yeah. No, I mean, would I like to see Paris? Yeah. I can see it from the air. I'll be okay, I guess. But
Yeah. I would rather go to Normandy. That's one thing that pissed me off is I didn't get to go to Normandy.
right. Yeah. But
They love us there.
let me see here. So
There were
these are what they're considering the top 10 games of this coming season.
mm, they Ravens actually they just signed safety Kayvon Wallace.
Hmm.
So
All
there's
right. So here's the power rankings for the top 10 games that they're talking about. The
okay.
Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. That's what they're talking about, right? Being the number one game. It's a divisional game, and these two teams have no love lost for each other at all. Number 2 on the list is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. This is more likely it's going to be Travis Kelce's last season. Who knows? It depends on whether or not Tay gives him an allowance. We'll see. But we'll see what Patrick Mahomes' leg is supposed to be doing at the time, because he did tear his ACL and he is coming back from that. There's no reason to think that he wouldn't be active this season, but we'll see. We'll just see what happens. I mean, it one season to the next. I mean, just because you had a shit season doesn't mean the season before means you're going to have one the following season. But just because you had a good season doesn't mean you're going to have a great one the next year. Hey, girly, what's going on?
Hello.
All right. Ranked number 3 on the list, the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Again, this is going to be a divisional game. You've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. That's another one that's, again, it's a divisional game. And speaking of the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers decided to come out of his hidey hole. He saw his shadow, so I guess he's playing for another year in Pittsburgh. So there's that, which makes sense because he was probably back, he was probably in a sweat lodge with Puxahani Phil. So, there's that whole thing there. The Bills at the Patriots. Again, a lot of these are going to be divisional games. I get it. The Niners at the Rams, ranking number 6. The Broncos at the New England Patriots. This is going to be an AFC Championship game rematch. Let me see here. Number 8, Chiefs at the Seahawks. Yeah, okay. I don't really feel that one. Baltimore Ravens at the Bengals. Don't really feel that one at all. And then ranked number 10. Why this one ranks high, so low on the list, I don't know. But this is the Super Bowl rematch where it's the Patriots at the Seattle Seahawks. We've seen Super Bowl losers come back to beat teams that they lost to, including the Eagles in 2023. But there's some recent historical precedent here. Josh McDaniels and Drake May have poured over that Super Bowl game tape to find out better ways to attack Seattle's pressure. New England will probably have better pass protection after some off-season additions. And Drake May was also playing with an injured shoulder in February and would likely love a second chance to avoid getting sacked 6 times against Seattle. Seattle's playing pretty good with Mike McDonald's, in his second season as head coach, but they've shown some vulnerability at Lumen Stadium, going 9-8 there in the regular season in his 2 seasons with the team. The Patriots won't be sneaking up on them, but they could be a surprise in that matchup. When the time comes for that pick, I am more than likely going to be picking the Patriots on that one, depending on how their season's going to that point. I don't know. We'll see, because with the additions that a lot of the teams made, these are not going to be the same 2025 editions of these teams. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. We'll just, kind of go from there. The NBA playoffs are still happening. LeBron James, the king of the court jesters, the greatest to ever pad his stats. He's trailing the Oklahoma City Thunder, the defending champions, 3-0 in their best of 4 series. They play tonight at 9:30 on Prime. Right now, the Detroit Pistons lead the Cleveland Cavaliers in their series 2 games to 1, but are currently trailing in the third quarter, 60-56 against the Cavaliers. We'll see how that game plays out. Tomorrow night, we've got these tied series between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the San Antonio Spurs. That game tips off at 7 o'clock on NBC. Wednesday night, we'll see a pair of games on ESPN. You've got potentially a game 5 against between Los Angeles and Oklahoma City, and definitely a game 5 between the Cavaliers and the Pistons. If the Thunder can put them away tonight, great. That makes programming a lot easier of a decision for the executives at ESPN.
Mhm.
I didn't have a lot of faith and confidence in the fact that the Houston Rockets were going to be able to take the Lakers all the way. And they didn't. So, they held true to form. But past that, I want to see LeBron complain and bitch and moan because he didn't get to play in another NBA final with another team that he seemingly built from the ground up, including forcing the head office to draft his kid just so that way they could have that experience. I know it's not a hot take, but it's my take, and it's, one that I'll stand up for and die on that hill for. But I think the NBA will be a better league without LeBron James in it. I
Well,
really do.
think
No,
about it.
I mean, okay, great. He's amassed all these stats. He's the all-time leading scorer. Well, if it takes you 20 years plus to achieve that title, fine, great. Do you, boo-boo.
Yeah.
But I think LeBron James as a whole, I mean, yes, the guy is talented. Dude, don't get me wrong. All right.
Yeah,
I will give you that.
you have to be talented to reach that kind of level.
But big butt here. We're talking bigger butt than his mom had whenever she got nailed by his former teammate when he was still living or playing for Cleveland.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like I fucked your mom, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there, dude.
Oh. Oh.
It's so awesome. Yeah.
Uh,
Like you remember that time you 360 no scope me on Call of Duty? Yeah, I told you I was gonna get you back. Yeah. No, don't mind me. Your mom's fixing to toss my salad. Yeah. Yeah. Dirty.
Not for kids.
Like mom leads in, gives your kid a kiss the next morning. You look at the kid and kind of wink at him and be like, "Hey, how's my dick taste?"
We're gonna give kids trauma.
Kids in report would be like, "What did he say?"
What happened with the shooter with you and Johnny? I don't even get into it, but
Right.
apparently his mom kissed him, and apparently his dad winked at it at the same time, and he snapped.
Right. It's like, I don't. He's like, like, parents get a call from the school nurse because their kid's being sent home with pink eye. It's like, how did that happen? Dad answers the phone. Well, you see, it's like this. Last night, mom tossed my salad, and then she gave kid a kiss this morning on the way out the door. Oh, yeah. It's like, well, your kid, he's not going to be able to play in tonight's basketball game. Well, I mean, this brings a whole new meaning to the word rimmed out, right?
Oh, are you gonna watch the World Soccer?
Oh, the FIFA World Cup?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to catch some games on Sirius. I'm gonna see if I can get any of them televised.
I'm definitely watching the women's.
But here's the thing, with them being here in Houston, dude, I'd so desperately want to get tickets to go to a game. I mean,
They
that's just a bucket list kind of a thing.
they came out with a poster.
Hey, as long as Megan Rapine is not on that team, I'm here
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
God, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Gosh, she was so toxic.
I
She if if she even comes out, it's like, why am I not in some kind of Hall of Fame? Because you're a piece of shit.
right? Yeah, I mean, you're absolute dog water girl, so, I mean,
It was like what was it? Kid asked for her to sign a soccer ball, and because it was a boy, she wouldn't do it.
yeah. Yeah, that's some low class shit right there. But yeah, I'm gonna try it. It let's put it this way. I'm not paying $100 for a ticket to a soccer match. I'm not doing it.
$100,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
It's worse.
I know that. I'm just saying that's
20 $25,000.
dude, that's for lower level seats. I'm talking nosebleeds, right? Nosebleeds at the NRG are still good, right?
Oh,
Nosebleeds at the Shell Energy Stadium, still good. I'm not paying anything over $100 for a seat for anything. I'm sorry. Okay. Um, with a couple of exceptions, maybe George Strait.
what about if it comes with a jersey from Nolan Ryan with a blood stain?
Well, it's got to be an authenticated team issued jersey. Pure, plain and simple.
I can't wait to get mine.
But I mean, reproduction? No, fuck that. I don't care. Honestly, I mean, I know that you're looking forward to it, and that's cool, dude. I'm
Yeah,
happy for you.
got my dad to go with me and
See,
trade.
but okay, but see, at that point, it's an experience, right? It's just I'm spending time with my old man, and hey, great, I'm here for it. That's one of the biggest things that I look forward to when I go to a ball game. I've got usually one or two of the kids in tow with me, and I'm like, dude, yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Take him to a minor league game, fucking here for that kind of noise, right? Take him to an Astros game. I mean, we're just there for the experience. We're there for the crowd, and just there to
If you
spend
go on
time
Friday,
together.
it's fun because there's a fireworks.
Well, yeah, I mean, whether it's minor league or major league,
Are they
Friday,
still doing
Friday,
that?
Friday home games usually do fireworks afterwards. But
I'm so glad. I'm I'm not much of a sports fan. Okay, and
right,
it's apparent that I do I do get a little bit too much when I go to a game though, but I love the experience. It is, and I've told Kai he had a chance to go to a Rangers game. He's like, I don't like sports, and dude, go. I'm not. You know me. I'm not a sports fan. But go. It's an experience. It's
yeah,
fun. You get to know your other workers and everything, and you have fun. It's and it's free for you. And they
right.
got tickets to the all you can eat buffet thing. I was like, dude,
Mhm.
just go. Just go.
Yeah.
Go for the food. It's ballpark food. As long as you don't do what you usually do with a hot dog is kiss it before you eat it.
Yeah, so for me, when I go to a ball game, dude, and I've stated this before, once I walk through those turnstiles or, walk through
You're
you know,
kidding.
through yeah, dude, I'm there. And it's one of those situations I don't give a shit what's going on in the outside world. Outside those turnstiles, it could be the zombie apocalypse. Don't fucking bother me. All right.
Yeah.
The only time that I'm going to get pulled away from an active live ball game is if the score is wildly out of hand and I'm just bored out of my mind because the team is playing like absolute dog shit, or it's a family emergency. Past that, dude, I don't care.
I
I'm
mean,
here watching a ball game.
the the Royals, I mean, they I get to see them suck again. So, have they
Well,
ever traveling?
well, you talking about Baltimore? Well, I mean, with Pete Alonso,
No, the Kansas City
oh, the
Royals.
Kansas City Royals. Oh, yeah, dude. They play like a mid-market team, honestly. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. being the bright spot on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but past that, uh, I mean, it's the Royals. So, I mean, you're not gonna get much. So, it is what it is.
It is one of those teams that's never made it to the World Series, right?
No, it isn't. Nope. The only
Oh,
team in Major League Baseball that have never been to a World Series is the Seattle Mariners.
oh, okay.
The Royals have gotten they've got a couple of World Series titles.
Okay.
So, but the NHL playoffs are still going on. Right now, the Minnesota Wild have a power play against the Colorado Avalanche. Right now, they're in game 4 of their series. That's happening live right now. 2:24 left in the second period. Um, Tomorrow, you've got Buffalo facing off against Montreal. Montreal leads that series 2-1. Anaheim is tied in their series 2 games apiece with the Vegas Golden Knights. They play tomorrow night as well. And then everything shifts to travel day. Wednesday the 13th, they've got Minnesota at Colorado, Montreal at Buffalo, Vegas at Anaheim the following day on the 14th. But so I mean, we'll get to see who's going to come out on top. Right now, I think it's just it's the divisional series, basically, to play for the conference championship or conference title to see who goes to Lord Stanley's final. That still hands down, it's the hardest championship trophy to win in all of professional sports.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a baseball guy. Don't get me wrong. I love my game, but hockey, that is the hardest championship to win.
it really is. Uh, it's and it's all because of your score. It's more or less like a soccer score, and,
Well,
and you got teams that I mean, you don't have them anymore. That's one thing I'm kind of upset about is I watched that documentary about the ice goons,
mhm.
and they got rid of them. And what interests me the most about that is, and now you have more concussions, more basic injuries because you don't have
Well,
the good.
and it's because the game is reverted from the Canadian American style of hockey to more of a European style, and the game is kind of starting to lose its identity a little bit, at least in my opinion, it is. You start
Wait,
to
Charles
see
Barkley still loves hockey. You know
do what
that.
now?
Charles Barkley still loves hockey.
Well, yeah, I mean, that aside, but the game is kind of losing its identity because you're starting to see more of a European style of play. I think we get back to the original intent of the game, get back to the original style of the game, and you'll start to see more of a resurgence, not only in the fan base, you start to see a resurgence of the merchandising sales. You'll start to see more of a resurgence in the talent as
Yeah.
it starts to rise to the top a little bit earlier in the season than it does now. Because you got a lot of shot specialists, you got a lot of shift specialists, you got a lot of guys who are tailored for one specific role. They only go in for a few minutes per game in between shifts, line shifts and things like that. It just, I don't, I mean, I like watching hockey. I love the fact that Houston is going to get uh, a minor league hockey team, for lack of a better term. They're going to be fielding that team. Um, Up in Richmond, I think it is, just as kind of a precursor to see how hockey attendance would be, how hockey attendance or a hockey team is gonna be, would fare in the Houston market, because they're really trying to get an NHL expansion team here in Houston, which I think would be phenomenal. Um, would I be a homer for that team? Absolutely not, because I'm a Bruins guy through and through. Bleed black and gold. Fuck them, right? So, I don't know.
Well,
It
no,
just
I really what I really would want
Mhm.
is if I could actually have a hockey team come back just to play like one game in their prime, which one would it be though?
Dude, that's a really hard question to ask. You
No,
know,
it's not. No, it's not. There's one team I
okay.
would bring at
Okay. What?
the
What?
1970s Philadelphia Flyers. That would be badass just to see them run through these teams.
Okay. Here's the thing about that kind of a question, right? And how loaded of how hot of a topic that is. How
It's
much
a
of a
very
hot button.
yeah,
It's a very hot button subject, right?
comments, post what you which team that you would want, because I'm sorry, what's the one thing that you want to see in a hockey?
I mean,
Them,
more than anything else, dude, I want to see guys. I want to see enforcers.
yes,
You know, but I mean, dude, the players back then I mean, they were built way different, right?
yeah,
Way different. Okay. It's to me that question is kind of like asking, hey, do you think that the Jordan Chicago Bulls teams of the '90s could compete in today's NBA? And you know, I like to think I like to refer back to Michael Jordan's response to that. He's like, you know, well, you know, it might take us a little bit longer to get going, you know, kind of a thing against these younger kids. And they were like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I mean, if we were to play today, right, versus the teams from the '90s, because the teams from the '90s in the NBA in the '90s was way more physical, right? I
yeah,
mean, they did. I mean, you would get if you came into the paint. It didn't matter if you were in foul trouble. If you came into the paint against certain guys, you were getting clotheslined.
dude.
LeBron James, LeBron James would not have played a 20-year
No,
career in the
uh-uh,
'90s.
no, dude. People are still telling stories about Larry Bird and how much he was a vicious
Oh,
bastard.
dude. And you know, I made the comment the other day while I was at work. We were watching ESPN highlights, talking about the Detroit Pistons, right? You know, because the Pistons are number one seed in the NBA in their conference right now.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm like, you know, I mean, seeing Detroit Pistons team, you know, doing well in the playoffs. Yeah, it's all warm and fuzzy, but that's about it. It's like peeing in a pool. You're the only one that does, you know, you're the only one that feels it, and it doesn't last very long. Because any of these newer Detroit Pistons teams are not going to be the same Detroit Pistons teams that a lot of the old, you know, a lot of the older generations grew up watching. I mean, you name one name, Bill Laimbeer,
yeah.
100%. That dude was an absolute bruiser. He did
Mm.
not give a shit. I mean, there was a Super Nintendo game named after him, Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. I mean,
Oh
come
yeah,
on. You know, I mean, the game was horrible and right, and it was all overhead view, but I mean, there was a reason, you know, why he got his name attached to a game before any other basketball player, right?
exactly.
So, but and I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's just you can't ask that question without a myriad of different answers. And I mean, while your opinion is valid, everybody else's opinion is going to be valid for that particular
Yeah.
subject matter as well.
Okay. Everybody that's actually watching this after a while, put it in the comments of what your team and why, because I'm interested in that, because the only reason why I get on this kick is because I it's the whole Russian story. That's the biggest one, because the Russian team was just, I mean, they were good, but when they got into the bruisers, oh, oh, when you like have to, they left halfway through. They're like, we're not coming back. We can't do this. We're not doing this. And they had it's like, well, we're not going to pay you. Capitalism wins. They come back. They
Yeah.
come back. They come back. They're like, oh, okay. If we'll play the rest of the game as long as and they
Yeah.
played and the Bruisers weren't that mean at the second half.
Yeah. Well, moving on from basketball and hockey, There was a NASCAR race up in Watkins Glen, New York this past weekend. Um,
Did everybody almost die again? Because I watched.
no,
I watched.
no. You talking about that big wreck in Talladega that took out 21 cars? No.
Ooh, yes. What
Yeah,
is?
but okay. So let me back you up a minute. That statement that everybody almost died. Let me clarify. These cars are built in such a manner that the more vicious the wreck, the safer the driver actually is. Because these cars are designed to fly apart. And when parts start flying off of race cars, that is them dispersing energy, right?
Yeah.
From the safety barriers on the outside retaining wall to the inside retaining wall to the way that the cars are constructed, the way that the cars are aerodynamically required to be. Um, Flaps on the A pillars, flaps on the roof, flaps on the hood. Those cars are designed to stay on the ground. They're designed to not go up in the air. They've got aerodynamic packages that sometimes don't lend to the greatest racing. I mean, as far as like passing is concerned, um,
I mean,
places like Daytona, Talladega, and even the reconfigured Atlanta Motor Speedway, where your cars are very aerodynamically dependent on keeping your car clean, things like that, because you're traveling at almost 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But they've got these spoilers in the back that are just kind of up there, right? And
Well,
it's
yeah,
increasing drag on the cars. And it's funny because I was listening to the Dale Jr. download the other day on my way to work,
yeah.
and Dale Jr. had Chase Elliott on the show with him, and they were talking about things like packages, aerodynamic packages, for the super speedways like
Mhm.
Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta. Reduce the size of the spoiler, right? Would be the easiest thing to do. But when you fix one problem, you're going to create two more that require some kind of attention. So I mean, I want to see cars with the ability to pass at these super speedways. Um, it'd be gone are the days where you're going to see somebody
Hit the
like Dale
wall
Earnhardt. No, no,
and well,
that,
okay.
that's.
No, no, no. I was
Let me
talking about.
finish. You don't know where I'm going with it, so just calm yourself. Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s last victory was at Talladega.
Mhm.
Okay, the man legitimately could see the air, right? I forget exactly where he was running. It was like 17th or something like that. But in the span of like 3 or 4 laps, he made his way to the front and won that race.
Yeah.
Okay, because he knew what moves to make at the right time, and he had the aerodynamic package that enabled him to make those kinds of moves. Um, you can't just like say, all right, hey, let's lay the spoiler down at 24 degrees and see how fast these cars can go. No, because when you start introducing higher speeds, and enable these cars to start passing, you don't want cars getting out to such a lead to where they can run qualifying laps all race long and just run away from the field. No, you want cars still bunched up enough together to where you're going to start seeing some beating and banging at these higher speeds, and you're going to start seeing these guys start being a little bit more smarter about the way that I want to see an aerodynamic package put together by NASCAR that enables these drivers, or that puts the driving back in the hands of the driver. Okay,
Yeah.
the driver with the most skill should be able to put his machine, coupled with the strategy from his pit crew, pit strategy from the crew chief, coupled with the driver's driving skill, should be able to put these cars in a position to win week in, week out. Okay. With these cars that they're running, these Gen 7 cars that they're running are so aerodynamically dependent that it passing, you hear the major complaint for these cars being passing is hard, right? Like when you get up behind you, I mean, you can make gains and you can gain up on a guy, and you can get up on a guy's rear end, but you can't get past him, even if you've got the car to do it, because the air that they dump on your car is it just it,
Here.
it's like putting a parachute on the back of your car.
Yeah.
So, um, but with this race this past weekend up in Watkins Glen, it was a road course race. Shane Van Gisbergen, our the driver from New Zealand, Yeah. See, I got crazy hair this week, but the driver from New Zealand, he, dude, the guy is a road course ace, right? He drove the supercar. Look at that. Look at that.
He's
He's here, everybody.
hello.
What's up, my guy? But Shane Van Gisbergen, I mean, it took him a while to get up there, but when he got up there, he took over the lead. He didn't give it up. He put himself in a position just on driving talent alone. He drove the supercar series in Australia, where all they do is road course racing, right? So this guy knows how to get around a road course. He drives the course one or two times, even one time, or he'll call somebody who's familiar with that particular track, like, give me tips on these different corners, right? And they'll lay out an entire map, and he'll take notes over the phone, and then he'll go out and perform, right? Shane Van Gisbergen put on a clinic, absolute clinic, on how to start further back in the field than you'd want and still make your way up to the front and win. So I mean, it's his seventh Cup career race, seventh Cup. It's his seventh career win. But the guy is just. It's still surprising to see, even though, like, that when you go to a road course, you're going to have to contend with SVG. It's still surprising to see him do the things that he does in those cars on those road courses. But so let's go ahead and go to the results here real quick. Shane Van Gisbergen with a win margin of 7.288 seconds. Like, literally, he drove away from the field as the laps winded down. He led for a total of 74 laps on the day. Your top 10, you've got Shane Van Gisbergen, Michael McDowell, Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, AJ Allmendinger. Kyle Busch finished 8th with a very good day for Kyle Busch. He's been very snake bitten this year. There's a lot of behind the scenes talk that he may or may not return to RCR next year. Nobody really knows. I mean, he had to have a doctor meet him in the pits after he got out of his car at the end of the race. So I haven't seen any stories come out about what that was all about yet. It's more than likely going to have to be something that I'm going to have to touch on during the week, or wait until next week's episode. I may drop like a special, like 2-minute or 3-minute video later this week. We'll just kind of see how it plays out. It just depends on what kind of news drops about it. Okay. Austin Cindric finished 9th. John Hunter Nemechek rounds out your top 10. Ryan Blaney coming home 11th. Chris Buescher, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Preece, Cole Custer, Denny Hamlin, Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, Eric Jones, and Connor Zilisch round out your top 20. Oddly enough, Connor Zilisch comes home with your fastest lap of the race with a lap time of 72.54 seconds. Now, Grant, this is a road course, not an oval, so I mean, they're not going to be running like 150 miles an hour. This is one of the faster road courses out there, but still, that 72 and a half seconds for a lap, that's pretty damn good. Past that, you got Christopher Bell coming home 21st, Noah Gragson, Kyle Larson with a really rough day, still managing to finish on the lead lap, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Riley Herbst. Sunday was not a good day for the Hendrick Motorsports guys. I mean, it just wasn't. They kind of unloaded a little, I don't know, poor. They were slow off the truck. The cars, they couldn't make the adjustments to keep up with it. It's one of those situations where it's like, all right, this is just not our day. Let's just get out here and try to acquire as many points as possible, kind of a thing. Riley Herbst finished 26th. Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, Bubba Wallace, Brett Keselowski rounds out your top 30. 31st through 38th, you're going to see Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Josh Berry, Ty Dillon, Josh Bilicki, Catherine Legg, the only female driver in the field. She finished 35th. William Byron had a really rough day. Cody Ware and Joey Logano coming home dead last. He had a lot of tire issues. and it was a rough day for Joey Logano. Right now, your point standings as of Watkins Glen, Tyler Reddick retains his lead. He leads by about 129 points over team owner Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott is in third with 422 points. He's 145 points behind the leader. Then you got Ryan Blaney in fourth and Chris Buescher in fifth. Moving up a spot to the sixth position was Ty Gibbs. Carson Hocevar drops to the number 7 position. Kyle Larson maintains his eighth place standing in the points. Brad Keselowski 9th. Bubba Wallace moved up to 10th. Christopher Bell moved up to 11th. And with the bad day that William Byron had yesterday, he dropped 2 spots to number 12 in the points. You got Ryan Preece in 13th, 14th, Daniel Suarez. And 15th in the points is Austin Cindric. Now, with the win yesterday, Shane Van Gisbergen moves up 3 spots to the number 16 spot. Now, that's where I'm going to stop because the number 16 spot is kind of important because that is the last spot for a driver to be eligible for the chase once the regular season ends at Daytona. As far as next week, what we are looking at, they're going to be taking the points are going to be taking a back seat next week because we're going to Dover Motor Speedway for the 350-mile event, the NASCAR All-Star Race. Winner takes all. It is a $1 million prize. It is wreckers or checkers next week. That is going to be Sunday afternoon, starting at 12 o'clock p.m. Where you're going to start seeing your all-star race events where you're going to see your open, you're going to see your fan vote, you're going to see your guys that are going to be racing. They're trying to race their way into the all-star event. And then you're basically going to see your all-star race, the main event later in the evening. But that coverage starts at 12 o'clock on Sunday, May 17th. That is going to be on FS1. That is going to be covered on the radio by MRN, the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. Or SiriusXM Channel 90 in your car or on your SiriusXM app. And then, of course, your driver feeds, again, are going to be covered by HBO Max. All-Star Race always makes for a good viewing. Guys are going to be out there throwing caution to the wind because, like I said, there's $1 million on the line. So, yeah, $1 million makes some people do some shady shit, behind the wheel of these multi-$1,000 race cars. After the All-Star Race, we're going to be going back to points racing. That one's going to be the Coca-Cola 600. That is Memorial Day weekend. That is going to be at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. 400 laps, 600 miles. That is the longest race of the year. It is also the greatest day in motorsports. You also have the Indianapolis 500 running that morning. The Coke 600 is running that evening. And then across the pond over in Santa Monica, Monaco, there's a Grand Prix race going on over in France. I cannot remember the name of it. I'm a complete idiot right now. But there's 3 major racing events going on during on Memorial Day. The 2 here that are occurring in the land of the free and home of the brave, it's going to be the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. I like NASCAR's take on Memorial Day because they run the names of fallen service members on the windshields of the cars.
Yeah.
It is the biggest tribute to the military that we see all year out of any of the major sporting organizations. Of course, with it occurring there in North Carolina, the 82nd Airborne is on prominent display. Plus, we have an opportunity to, remember those who did not make it home and gave up the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. So that's going to be in 2 weeks, but next week is going to be the All-Star Race. So kind of looking forward to that. It just kind of seems that on All-Star Race weekend, I'm usually listening to it in the car on the way, usually after dropping my boys off back with their mom. So it's just become part of the course, par for the course now. So, but yeah. Colin, what you got going on there, guy?
What do you mean?
What I mean, it's simple. What do you have going on? I mean, what's happening in your your corner of the world?
I didn't get any hours for the week, so that's fun.
Right. Okay. All right. Any
Apparently,
gaming stuff?
gaming stuff.
Yeah.
I finally am sitting down and playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Right. Okay. All right. What I would suggest, is getting or upgrading to the PS5 version.
No, yeah, I got it.
Okay. Good.
I used the thing that the thing Sissy got me for my birthday to upgrade.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So it's much better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having fun so far. I'm reading Vagabond right now, so that's really what got me into like. I kind of want to play Ghost of Tsushima now.
Yeah.
Vagabond is a story. It's not 100% accurate, I guarantee you, but it's supposed to be a telling of Miyamoto Musashi, which is considered the greatest swordsman ever.
Yeah, you should look at Musashi's.
And he also has one of the highest kill counts ever.
Yeah, you should see. Look at his stuff. There's a lot of stuff on Miyamoto
Musashi.
Yes, thank you. He fought a guy off of a wooden stick.
Oh no! Yeah, this guy. No, yeah, he's killed a bunch of people with just like.
Yeah, he killed a person because he's so great. Apparently, he fought a guy and he's like, "I'm not even going to use an actual sword. I'm going to use this wooden sword," and just whittles a sword and killed him.
He's done this multiple times.
Yes.
And Vagabond Volume. Is it Volume 1? It's like Volume 1 or 2. I think it's 1. No, I think it's definitely 1. Of like the Vizbigs. He's getting like chased in like this foresty area, and he has a stick. Turns around, smacks this guy at this head, and his skull explodes. Like you see his eye pop out, and it kind of smushes.
Wow.
No, yeah, this dude had like incredible like physical strength. Yeah, people just challenge him, and he'd be like, "Okay," and it's like just.
Well, let's see here.
Yeah, which it's cool because I learned I guess once I'm done with Tsushima,
I'll let you borrow Yote.
Do you have a physical copy?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Because
you can
and
fight.
I'm gonna die on this hill. Physical media matters.
It does.
In Yote, I don't know. Okay, so it can either be two guys. Takazo. Right, yeah, I think that's how you say it. There's a guy you could fight in Yote, which is that's either Musashi when he was going by so in Musashi's life there's a brief time span that we have like no record of where he went by his original name Takazo. I gotta know if I'm getting. Hold on.
See, you know what kills me or just like fascinates me is the fact that he is all like into this.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, okay, I'm getting caught up on my Gundam lore.
Shinmin Takazo.
I've been playing Starfield though. I finally finished the campaign. What pissed me off, I went to go do the because
New Game Plus.
yeah, the first multi
Takezo.
verse.
Mhm.
Takezo. I guess. Anyways, that's his original name, and he went
Yeah.
by that because he went by that, and then he switched his name to Miyamoto Musashi,
Mhm.
and then to go back undercover, he switched his name back. That was also the name of his dad, or like I think that's the last name, so like him, and
Right.
so either in Yote, that's either Musashi in the brief time span, or you're fighting his dad, which was he was also counted invincible under the sun. So
Okay. Well,
I want to fight him. So
I've been looking for gaming deals. Today I ordered Infamous 2 and then Infamous Second Son for my retro consoles.
I am.
I also I purchased begrudgingly a new game for Sammy's birthday that is coming up. I say begrudgingly because I'm like, oh, $70 for a Switch game kind of kills me, right?
Yeah.
What game?
I'm like, I'm not telling you because I'm on the off chance that he winds up watching any kind of clip. I'm not spoiling it. I'll tell you after the show.
Yoshi?
Don't even guess, dude.
I'm telling you after the show. Don't guess. Not while we're broadcasting.
Especially live.
God, boy.
But
I don't know how to do.
Anyways,
so
hold on, I'm not done.
Yeah.
So I know it's going to go on my backlog, and it's probably not going to get played for a while. But while it was there, I went ahead and picked up the physical copy of Assassin's Creed Mirage at Walmart. It was $10.
I heard it's not.
I don't care. It's a $10 game.
Yeah, dude, I had more fun on a cheap game. Me and Kai, we played. We got 2 computers and they set them up. We networked them, and it was a game called World War III.
Okay,
dude, it was a strategy game. It was Command and Conquer.
Mhm.
And dude, I think we forgot that it was like 3 to 4 days. We played this. We just constantly. My dad came.
So it's like a good old fashioned game of Risk, right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. Colin still wants a rematch.
Oh yeah.
Because I started in North America, right? Yeah.
But
well, I kind of last time me and Kai played a game like that, I kind of showed that it's good to be rich or good to have money because he had a crappy computer. And I knew this is my strategy: make as many minions as I possibly can, and
so
send
his
them
game crash. So his game crash.
Have his computer crash.
Mm-hmm.
He was so like, dude, Dave, stop it.
So I'm. Subnautica 2's early access coming out on Thursday. Guess who can't afford it? It's $30 and it's pissing me off.
What game?
Subnautica 2.
Oh, Subnautica. Okay. Is it going to come out on Game Pass?
I don't know, and if it is, it'd be next gen exclusive.
Yeah. Let me see what I
and
can
for
do.
and for some reason, there's no early access for PlayStation.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I have to, because I think this Xbox would explode if it tried running Subnautica 2. And so I'm gonna have to buy it on my computer. So, but yeah, I guess I'll just wait. Dat or one of my friends was like, because he wants to play it with me. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, uh, he would buy it for me, and then I just have to give him like $15, which I might take him up on that offer.
Yeah. Project Hail Mary comes out tomorrow on digital, so I'll be buying
Oh,
that.
really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's not slated to come out in physical media until I think like August, but I'll have already gotten the digital copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look for the Steelbook edition of the 4K Blu-ray, and I'll end up getting that because, dude, I loved that movie. Like,
Yeah, that movie was
absolutely
good.
loved that movie. Um,
I
I mean,
think I prefer Interstellar.
over Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Well, to put it into perspective, you know how Sammy loves Interstellar?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he said that this one almost knocked it off the top of the list. Like, when we walked out of the theater, he said immediately, hands down, number 2, almost number 1.
I'll
And you know
have to
how
ask him
discerning,
that.
and you know how discerning of a sci-fi guy he is.
I'll have to re-ask him that when I'm there this weekend. See if it was recency bias or not.
I don't know. I mean, it just because he's like, I really want to read these books, and I'm like, okay, cool. I've lent him all 3 of my Andy Weir books, and he's not even halfway through The Martian because he just absolutely hates to read. I'm fixing to put him on a time crunch. Be like, look, dude, you got a book report coming up in a week. I want to hear about The Martian. And then once he gets to once he gets to Project Hail Mary, I know that he's going to fly through that book. But especially to the part where he gets at the gets to the end of the book, where Mark Grace is on, or not Mark Grace. Yeah, when Grace is on Rocky's homeworld, and they have the Rocky's people had to bioengineer basically human meat, so he had protein, and he's eating me burgers, is what they were called in the book. They didn't put that in the movie, but yeah, I'm excited for for that. I'm excited to get that on digital. So, but past that, I'm still stocking away to get the PS5 Pro that I'm saving up for, and upgrade my Slim, and yeah.
Here's a funny thing I found. Paul Finner, UFC fighter. This is the funniest thing I've seen. Guy was messaging him on his board. Stay retired, Paul. You make a better commentator than a fighter. Paul Finner is like, does it make you feel good saying that? Now you say that to my face, man to man. It's like, nope, you kicked my ass. This is what I'm saying on Twitter. Fair enough. Stuff I find. Man. I'm finding I have to unplug the internet for a while and just play video games because the stuff I find like right now I'm looking at this thing that's 65% of Pakistan are inbred, and they have their own little section. They put their inbred mishaps.
Well, I was because I only played video games one day last week, and that was on Saturday. No, I played it for 2 days. Because like I finally got to sit down and play video games Saturday. and then I got to play a Sunday night. But I got to play a little bit today.
Okay.
I might want to quit from Market Street soon. I really
Okay.
might.
Well,
No. I might want to slash need
put
to.
a pin in that, and you and I will discuss that after the show.
All right.
But we're coming up on an hour and a half, folks. So we're going to go ahead and land the plane here.
Mhm.
I appreciate everybody's patience with us, for, the panel constantly being in flux,
Yeah.
work schedules being being our, what they are. We like to be able to pay our bills. So until such time that this advocation becomes our actual vocation, hey, just continue to suggest us to your friends. I mean, we may not be the most in-depth show, but again, we're amateurs, rank at best. Just give us some subscribers. Well, give us some views, interact with us. That's what it's all about. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this has been episode 262. Be back here next time, same bat channel, same bat time. And David, I'll look at what you sent me here in just a minute.
Yes.
But we're fixing to turn on the ugly lights, everybody. You don't have to go home, but you sure as hell don't have to stay here. You can't stay here. I'm just kind of putting that out there. And hope everybody enjoyed their Mother's Day with their moms. But I'm Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Colin Skill.